How's it going, everyone? Hope you are having an amazing day like always. And if not, again, just make sure to take some coffee or tea, and that should make it better. Okay, in this video, I want to show you something that some people been asking, and is how to filter a drop down menu, but also adding a button to the description or to the content that you're displaying at that moment. So I'm gonna use this website I just created. This is gonna be for a real estate page, and we're gonna try to do it very easy and simple. So right now, as you can see here, I have three repeaters, and all we gotta do is just go back to the editor, and we're gonna create everything from scratch. Now, if you already know this step, you can skip all the way to, and I'm gonna put it the time where we're gonna be talking about how you're just gonna add a button, something like this. Before, you probably saw my last video, it was a restaurant, but again, the functionality and everything is the same. You can use it for any industry. So once you learn how to do it on one, you can pretty much use it anywhere. So this time I decided to do it with properties, so that way you can see you can use it for different things. So let's get started. So the first thing you're noticing is on this page, you have tags right here. But because I'm still deciding if I'm gonna use tags or drop downs, I'm gonna just go with drop downs. And as you can see here, I also have the other database connected to this testimonial section. And I had another video showing how to create this step right here. So that way you don't depend on Wix apps, but everything is within the page. So that way you don't have to be paying any monthly fees. So we're gonna go back here. We're gonna add the drop down right here. And one of the things is make sure that if you're on developer mode, if it's off, there's tools that you're not going to be able to see. So if this is your first time doing this step, it's okay because we're pretty much starting from scratch. So if your developer mode is off, you want to have to turn it on to be able to see some tools. Once you turn it on, at least one time, the tools will stay there forever for the page or the life of the page. So as long as you turn it off one, turn it on one, you're gonna be able to see all the tools. So we're gonna turn it on, and once you turn it on, you'll see there's gonna be some tools that are gonna show at the bottom, like this box right here and this on the left. And again, don't be intimidated by these tools. We're gonna use them, but they're not that complicated. So if you don't want to see them, just click here to minimize. And then if it's this box is all the way in the front, just you can just move your mouse and drag it to the left. So now that you have this, you're gonna be able to go to the plus button right here, and you're gonna have this section which is input. So we're gonna add the drop down, and we're gonna go here. So we're gonna go and find drop down. So we're gonna select this one right here. Once you drag it and place it right there, you can click on manage choices, and you'll see it says vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, rocky road. And then on the bottom, you see also has names. So there's two things. You have the description, and you also have the value. And if you don't see the value on this little menu right here, it's because your developer mode is off. So when you turn it off, there's the values that you're not going to be able to see. And it is important because that's what's gonna help you filter the drop down menu. So make sure that you turn it on. As you can see now, it only shows the descriptions and you don't see the value. So if you want to see the value, which we're going to use, make sure your developer mode is on. And let's turn this on. Now we're going to minimize this. And we want to do filters by let's say properties. So we're gonna do house first, and then on the value, we're gonna also type house. And then on the second one, we're gonna do condos. And then on the value, we'll do the same. And then apartment or apartments. I'm not sure how do you want to name it. Apartments. And then here we're gonna do land. And then we're gonna do, oh, description, we're gonna do land. Okay, so now you have your options right here. Again, nothing is connected yet. We haven't even created a database. So make sure that you stay, on top of everything so you don't miss any step. So you added your drop down. You already have your repeaters. How do you create these repeaters? Very easy. You just gotta click here where it says add, and then right here where it says lists and grids is this one right here. And then when you drag it, it should look something like that, right? As you can see, it's very similar. So the only thing we did is just replace everything. So you can reuse the ones that are there. So if you double click, you can do property, for example, or title, right? And again, I'm just showing you really quick because we already created it. If you want to see another video on how to create repeaters, let me know. But again, hopefully you already know how to do this part. So we're just gonna delete this thing. Go. Okay. So you have your title, you have the price of the house, you have the description, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, and the size of the property or square feet. And then you have details, which it should take you to see the whole property. Okay. So one thing that you gotta keep also in mind is whenever you're creating this, you can add it doesn't have to look like this. You can add your own information here. So if instead you don't want it to be a title, you just want it to be price, you can do that. If you don't want a description, you just want the basic information, you can do that as well. You can pretty much decide whatever you want on this. This won't be very difficult. So you can add as much content as you want, but all the content that you add on the repeater has to be on the database. And we're going to go into that for right now. Another thing that you want to also keep in mind is, for example, title is a text. The price is a number, and then the details, it's a button or a link. Okay, so why are we doing that? Is because when we create the database, all that information will matter. So let's create the database now. So the first thing you want to do is go on the left where it says content manager. Once you're here, you're going to notice you might have already some databases that they were created automatically when you add a specific ads, like apps, sorry, like blogs or things like that. So it will create it by itself. So don't worry about those. If you don't have this, it doesn't matter either. So we're just going to go in here, create a new collection. And this one, we're going to go where it says start creating. We're gonna name it properties, or yeah, let's name it properties. And then here where it says site content, you're gonna click on this little button right here, and you're gonna see this drop down. You can scroll down all the way where it says custom use. You're gonna click on that and set custom permissions. Now on this specific video, I'm not gonna go in details about how to upload content to this database from the website, but I'm going to show you how you can add content directly from the database. So there's those two ways, and I can do also another video on that part to create a custom form. And I'm actually going to be adding very soon a very complete real estate website where you can do a lot of these things. But this one is for somebody that wants something very simple. very easy to do without complicating their life. Okay. So once you're here, make sure that it says connect from this collection, right? It's custom use. So who can read the content from this collection? That means who can see the properties that you're listing on this repeater right here? Well, you want everybody to see it, because if you put admin or you put any of this, they have to be logging into the page to be able to see it, or they have to be a member. So that can also be used for other, tools that you might want in the future. But for now, you want it to be anyone, so anybody that lands on your website can see it. Also, who can create the content? Right now, we're gonna put anyone because it's only you creating the content. If you have members, then you'll select, you can select site member or admin. In this case, we're just gonna also leave it as anyone. And here, where it says who can update the content, we can also leave it as anyone. And the permissions on who can delete, we can just leave it as admin. So you're the only one that it's able to delete any information there. Once you set all this, you just click set and create. And then from here, all we gotta do is now start creating the collection. The cool thing about Wix is once you start working on the database, there's no button that you need to click to save. It will automatically save it for you. So again, the first thing we have is the title. And this is something that you can't change. So when you click on properties, you see right here, the field key can be changed. So you can change this to make sure you don't get confused. You can name it like property name, or you can name it something else, but you can change the field key. Now, for everything else that you create that is new, you'll be able to adjust or create as you want it. But for this one, is the only one that can be changed. So just keep that in mind. So for now, we're gonna go and see what we need. So we're just gonna close this, and then we need title, price, picture, description, and we're gonna go one by one. Okay, so we're gonna go back, properties. So we need first, we have the title, which is going to be something like big condo in downtown area, for example. That'll be the name. And then the second one, we need an image. And we can just leave it lowercase there. So image. Now, in this field right here, you do have to change this section because you want to be able to add images, right? So we're going to add image, and then we're gonna click save. So image, and this is gonna be save, and then it's right there. So now it's created. So you can see right here is an image. Then we also need a description. So we're gonna name it short description. And the description is a text. So we're gonna leave it as a text. So we can click save. The next one is gonna be price, the price of the property. And then here we're gonna find number, because there's a number is gonna be there, and then we're gonna click save. The next one, it's gonna be bedrooms, right? Because you want to know how many bedrooms there in this specific listing. So it's also gonna be a number, and then we're gonna click save. And then the next one is gonna be bathrooms. And then here is also going to be a number, and then we're going to click save. And then the other one is going to be a button, because this is going to be details. So we can name it the name of the button, or you can put a name it button. So it's up to you what you want to name it. But in this case, because we want to make sure it's not confusing for us, we're just going to name it details. And then here where it says text, we're going to go find URL right there. Why? Because this is where we want to send the people once they click on that specific listing. So we click URL, and then we click save. And now I think we should have everything. So we have title, image, short description, price, bedrooms, bathrooms, details, which is going to be the button. Oh, we are missing one, which is going to be the square feet or square foot of the So we're just going to name it SQ, and it's going to be a number. So the property size, you can also name it property size. These things are not going to show on the, what's it called, they're not going to show on the repeater, so don't worry about what names you put here. These are more for you to see where you're going to be adding and connecting the data. So once you do that, you just click save, and we're going to close this. We're going to go back here and see, okay, so we have an image, you have a title, you have the price, a short description, you have a bedroom, bathroom, you also have the square foot or size of the property, and details, which is the buttons. Now you're good here. Now we can start connecting everything. But before we do that, we want to make sure that our drop down menu on the choices, this match what we have in the database. So this is something we haven't added. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go properties. And now this is what we need to do. The other one that we need to add, and we didn't do it earlier, is add another one, which is going to be type of property. Okay. So this is something we didn't do earlier. I don't know, I forgot, but hopefully you don't get confused. So we're going to click save. Now, if you notice, right now on this database, the only thing that is not on the repeater is type of property. Why? Because we don't need this to be displayed, but this is where it's going to be the house, condo, and all the information. So everything that is here, house, condos, apartments, land, that's what's going to be used to filter all the information that it's right here on the type of property. So just make sure when you add that section right there, let me put this one right here, type of property, this is where it's going to be. So this is where we're going to be adding what type of property it is. So to not make it confused, because it's all the way at the end, we're going to click and hold, and we're going to move it all the way to the front. That way, whenever you add the content, it's very easy for you to find it, so it's not confusing. So now we have what we need. Okay, so we're just going to close this. Now we can add the small code that you can also have access to it when you click on the description of this video. There's going to be a place where you can go and find the code, and all we have to do is just open this thing again. If it's down, let me put it right here. If it's closed like that, all you gotta do is just type here where it says open, and you're gonna see this section right here. So the first thing we're gonna do is move it a little bit up. We're gonna delete everything that's here, and then it should look like that. Okay, so now we're gonna get our code. So we're gonna get 1 second. So we're gonna click copy here. Okay, so we're gonna put our code right here, and the first thing you're gonna notice is there's like a little red dot right here. That's what's giving you the error that something is wrong here. Why? Because we still need to add other tools, but at least we have it right here. So for now, we're just gonna minimize this. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add what's called a data set. And that's what's gonna connect your collection to everything that you have right here on the on your repeater. So we're gonna click here where it says Content Manager, and we're gonna go right here where it says Add Content Elements. You're gonna click on here, and you have two options. Data set is the one that's gonna display the information. Data set form is when you create a custom form to connect a specific form that you want to add information to your database. And again, we're going to do another video so you can see how to add properties from the site without having to log in into the dashboard or Wix. So you can do it directly from your page. And to use this, you can also see the other video I did where you can create a custom reviews page. And it's pretty much the same concept. Is just you use it for a different thing, but it's pretty much the same. So we're going to click here, the data set. And once you have right here, it will not show on the live page, so you can place it anywhere. Once you're here, you see it has a little yellow arrow. You're gonna click where it says settings, and then here we're gonna select properties because that's the one that we want to connect. Once you're on properties, it should go away, and then it tells you some information. Property data set. You want to make sure it says read only, which means again it's just to display the information. If you type read and write, that means that you can add and remove and do a lot of different things. So just make sure you leave it on read only. And then the number of items to display. Let's say you add 100 properties to your database. You don't want all those to show on this section, right? Because it's going to be too much. So what you can do is we can even leave it to 6, or we can leave it to 3, and then create another page where you're going to display more. And that's why we're going to use this button right here that says load more listings, because it can take them to where we have only the listings. So that way it won't mess with the design of your page. Because if you start adding a lot of properties here in the front, they're not going to be able to see all the other content that you have that people might be interested in reading. So that's why I will leave it as 3 only to display. And once we do that, we can just close it. But again, it's totally up to you. It's your website, so you can do whatever you like. So once we have this, you notice it says dataset 1. We're going to go open this again. And this one already clear. The dataset 1 got clear. It's all good. And now it says drop down 1. So you got to make sure that everything matches. Right now, there's no an error because it is correct. If you click on it, it's a drop down 1. But let's say if you would have 2 drop downs because you were doing something else, it might say drop down 2 or drop down 3 when you click on this one. So if when you click this section right here, this one is different, then just make sure to copy this and replace it for these 2 drop downs right here. Okay. So now that we have our drop down and the name is correct, it matches drop down here and the other drop down here when the selected tag is clicked. We need to make sure that we're gonna filter. In this case, because this is a code that I was using for the other video, which was about restaurants, we need to find this type field. So we're gonna go here, minimize this. We're gonna go to our content manager. We're gonna go where it says properties. Once we're here, it's just gonna load. And sorry, my internet is a little slow today. Okay, so type of property, because we wanna filter condos, house, land, apartments. So we're gonna click here and we're gonna go where it says property. And this is the field key, type of property. So we're gonna copy this and you can click save. We're gonna close this. We're gonna open this bottom section again, and we're gonna replace here where it says type of food. We're gonna replace it for type of property. Okay. Now it shouldn't have any red button here. If there's something red here, that means one of the names don't match. So if you notice earlier, this is the only thing that didn't have a red, but that's because it was connected to the database. So again, just make sure that if you have multiple items or multiple drop downs, the names are gonna change. Okay, so if you see here it says drop down 1, and I want to show you what it will look like if you have another one. So I don't want to confuse you, but I feel like this is important to know. So we're gonna add this right here. We're gonna move it somewhere here, and when you open here and I click on this, it says drop down 2. So that's how you know drop down 1, drop down 2. But this one won't work because we don't have any values to it, so it's not gonna show. So we're gonna delete this. Okay, so we're very close to complete this section right here. So the last thing we need to do is we need to connect this specific repeater to your data set. So we're gonna click on the image first. And once we click on the image, we're gonna go here where it says connect to data. And the first thing we're gonna go here is choose property data set, and then it says image source is gonna connect to an image. And right now, because there's no content, it's not gonna do anything. So once you do that, just close, leave everything the way it is, and then we're just gonna close that. Family house, we're gonna connect it to the title. So we're gonna make sure it says property data set, and here it says title. Then this one is also gonna be connected to the data set, and it's gonna connect to price. And then here, this is a small description. So we're gonna connect to data, and we're gonna go here and we're gonna do short description. And now here, the only thing you wanna connect is not the symbol, I mean, not the icon, but the number. So we're gonna select the number. We're gonna go here and we're gonna connect it to bedroom. And then we're gonna look for bedroom's number. And then this one is gonna be, oh, sorry, the number, connect. And then this is gonna be bathrooms, number of bathrooms. And then here, this symbol, you can use any type of icon, but that one I feel like represents square foot or the size of the property. So we're gonna click in here and we're gonna connect this one to, it's gonna be square. I just name it as ice cube, but you can name it whatever you want, or property size, and that's done. And then the last thing is the button, which is what everybody was asking, if we can have them go somewhere else. So we're gonna click on the button and select this option right here, and then we're gonna go to connect to property data set, and this is gonna connect to details URL. Boom, that's done. Now you can name this button anything, but because this is a repeater, it's always gonna be the same. You cannot change this to something like call now, and this one is gonna be like more information, and this is gonna be details. The thing about repeaters is the buttons are gonna be the same, so you can always use details. You can also click name it view more. You can also name it more information or info, or something that is very general. That's the only thing about these buttons, but you can link it to anywhere. You can link it to your data set. You can also link it to a page within your website. You can also link it somewhere outside the page. So let's say you're working with Kelly Williams, for example, you can connect this one to directly their website where they have all the listings, if that's something you want to do, or if you want to create another page within your website where you want to send them. So once you do that, everything should be good to go. So now the only thing we need to do is add some content. So we're going to go back here where it says Content Manager, and we're going to add the properties. Okay, so once you're here, the first thing we're gonna add is property type. We're gonna add a house. The title, we're gonna name it big I don't know, big house on hills. You can name it anything. In this case, because we only add one image, we're gonna click on here. We're gonna add an image, and we're gonna go here. Just gonna type house, and then click enter. And let's say it's this one right here. Click add to item, and then short description. We're gonna use some fake text. So we're gonna put just 1 second. Okay. Because we want it to be just some fake text, we're just gonna put a small description. Then the price of this property, let's say, is 550,000, right? And then the number of bedrooms is 4, and then the number of bathrooms is 5. And then the details, here is where you're gonna connect your button. So you have, again, 2 options. You can go and find, if it's within your page, the URL, and just paste it here. If you want to send them somewhere outside, I will just copy a URL from, let's say, this page right here, and then I'll just paste it right here. So I'm just It says spell, try using Control V. Oh, there you go. There you go. So I paste the link there, and then the square foot, it's gonna be, let's say, 5,000 square foot. And if it's just confused, you can always move it to this side. Doesn't matter. The arrangement of this won't matter. So now we're gonna add a second one. So this one is gonna be land, and we're gonna make sure we type here. It's gonna be was gonna put big farm opportunity, and then the price is gonna be, let's say, 100,000. The number of bedrooms, none, because there's no bedrooms. Number of bats, nothing. And then here we can just name it as like 7,000 square foot. And then here we can also put that link, or we can even put something else. Let's put YouTube instead. There you go. So that's a link. And then the last one is gonna be condo. And then here we're gonna name it massive downtown. I don't know, place. And then the price, let's say, is 200,000. And then let's say has 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it's about I don't know, 9,000 square foot. And then the link that we're gonna put here, it's gonna be again something else. So we can put something like wix.com, or we can even put something else. Let me see. I'm just gonna put whatever random link, okay? So let me see. Trying to find a short. Okay, I found one. Okay, so we're gonna put this right here. Okay, so you have a house, land, condo, and I think the only thing we were missing was let me close this. I think the only thing we were missing was the rentals. So we have house, condos, apartments and land. Okay, so that should be it for this content manager. You can add as many properties, and just make sure that on type of property you add type that you want. If you decide to add other options here, make sure that you add value as well. If not, it's not gonna filter right. So now let's see if it's working. And sometimes when you do preview mode, it might not work. So you have to publish. As you can see here, oh, we forgot to add the images. So we're gonna go back. My bad. So we're gonna go back here. We're gonna go to properties. So let's make sure we add the images. I went too fast right there. Okay, so you can see I didn't add a title here. I don't know. Oh, I added on this short description. I get confused. So this is where it needs to go. Okay. Apologies for that. And then this one is going to be a short description. So make sure whenever you add the content, you read the title, so that way that doesn't happen. Because I was just adding it very fast. Okay, so yeah, this here. Okay, so title is a condo land house. I mean, type of property is a condo land house. Title, you can name it anything. Image, we're gonna add here a condo. So we're gonna go here, condo. And then let's select this image right here. And then here on land, we're just gonna put an image of land or some dirt. There you go. Let's put that one. Looks nice. So you have there. Then your short description, you can name it anything. And the short description is just for you to kind of like talk a little bit about the property. Okay, so you have type property, title, image, short description, price. Again, because this one's, where are they? The big farm doesn't have bedrooms, would they stay clear, or you don't have to add anything there. And then where you want them to go, it can be within your page or they can go outside your website. So now we can close this, we can preview, and it should work now. Perfect. Actually, there you go. Again, so once you see this, you can filter. So, oh, and one thing we need to change is what's the best flavor here. We gotta change that, and then we're almost there. Hopefully, I didn't confuse you, and if I did, please let me know. I'll make it up to you. I can try to help you out if you can figure this out. So this is gonna be type of property, and we can just close. This error is gonna be here because we're not adding a title on top of this box, so don't worry about that. Just close that, and then now we can click preview. And a lot of the times, if you go on preview, it might not work correctly. So a lot of times you can just go to publish. But as you can see, now you have your website. So as you come here, you're scrolling down, right? People are looking through what you offer, and then you have some listings here, which are the what I call featured listings, or the ones that you're trying to sell faster, or the ones that been sitting for so long. Whatever you want to do with this. So now when you filter, you click the drop down, and if I click house, it should only show me a house. If it doesn't, it's because the filter is not working correctly. So right now, as you can see, it's not showing anything, and we're gonna look why. So if I click on condos, it also not showing anything. And then apartments, same thing. So the most common reason why this one filter is because there's something not matching with the drop down. So the value needs to be the same. So let's go back, and we're gonna fix this. Okay, so one of the things is why it wasn't the drop-down menu wasn't filtering the properties is because this is a mistake that a lot of people make. I make it all the time, and then once I'm like, oh, it's not filtering out, it's because this needs to be fixed. So what you want to do is click on your menu, right? And then when you click on here on manage choices, you're gonna see you have two. You have the description, which the description, it doesn't matter. You can do lowercase, capital, it doesn't matter. You can add numbers there, but on the value it's very important. So on the value here, if you notice, this one is on it's capital H. This one is lowercase c. This one's lowercase a, and this is capital L. So right now, all this need to match what you put on your database. So we're gonna go to database properties, and we gotta make sure that we fix that. So we're gonna go here, and right now I paused the video and I came here and I fix house and I put a capital. So on this one, we gotta make sure we use an L. This is gonna be a C. So now you have those three. And I feel like I'm missing one. I think it was apartment, but because we don't have any, oh, let's add it right now. So since so it has to be apartments. And then here we're gonna name it downtown newest. And then pictures, here we're gonna add a new image. Gonna add apartment. And you can add as many, again, you can add as many sections. You can add more other condos, other piece of land, it doesn't matter. We're gonna use this. I'm just gonna paste here. We're gonna name this, we're gonna price at 150,000. And the bedrooms, we're gonna put 5 bedrooms, and this is gonna be 3 bathrooms. And then We're gonna say that it's 2,500 square foot, and then we're gonna copy this and place it right here. Okay, so now we do have 4 examples, but again, this section right here, condo, land, anytime you add a new properties, this has to be the same way that you have it on your choices here. So capital H, capital C, capital A, capital L. So now we're gonna preview and it should filter out correctly. Okay, so type of property, if I click house, it's only gonna show me a house. Okay, so as you can see, it has 4 bedroom, 5 bathroom, and this part we're gonna fix it right now. It looks a little compressed. We're gonna adjust it and it should work correctly. Once we click condos, it should also filter condos. And if it's not filtering out, again, it's because something it's missing. So I think on this one, I'm missing the S on the database, but we're gonna look into it. And then apartments, it should filter apartments. And then land, let's go to publish. Okay, I'm gonna publish. Again, because remember, if you're on preview mode, sometimes it's just not going to work correctly. So make sure you publish so that way you can see if it's really working or not. I'm going to go back, click apartments before we go and do any changes. So there's something that's not matching here. And then condos, it's not filtering out condos, and then house. So house and land is working. So we gotta make sure to check why condos and apartments is not working. So we're gonna go back to the editor, and then right here, we're gonna fix that. Okay, so first thing I'll do is go here, and condos here, I'm gonna edit the value, and this is capital C. This one is the value, capital A. Because again, remember, this has to match your database. So that's capital A. So that should make it work now. So let's watch. Okay, and this is going to be beautiful. Condos. Now it should work. Wait. 1 second. Apologies about that. Let's go here. Properties. And right there, I'm missing an S. So you can just keep in mind that this has to match your drop down. So anytime you add this, just make sure it matches. Okay, so apartments. And the easiest way to do it to not mess up is I'll just copy and then close this, go here, and apartments, we're gonna edit the value. And it's done. So condos was missing the S, apartment is working. Now we're gonna go to preview. And again, if it doesn't work, make sure you publish, because on preview, sometimes it doesn't work correctly. So we're gonna go again, house should filter house, and then condos should filter condos. There you go, perfect. And then apartments now should show only apartments, perfect. And then land. And then the more properties you add, it's of course gonna show all of them. So now, as you can see, it's working. Now let's go back to house and test the button. So when you click on details, there you go. It took you to the link that you added. So now we can close this. Now, if we go to condos, we added also a button, and it takes you to the place that you want them to go. Now, if you want them to stay within your own website, then you can also make sure that this button connects to a link within your website, and it will just go within the website. So, but that's how you do it. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So now that you know everything is working, now all you gotta do is fix the little, details that the page has. So for example, this you don't want it to look like that. So what I will do is I will move this a little bit closer, right there. And then I will add this a little closer as well. And then I will extend this. That way, whenever you add content, it's not gonna get all messed up. And then you can go and fix all the details. Then here where it says load more listings, I will click on it. And then this one, you don't have to connect it to anything other than you can send them to your page where you have all the properties. So that way you can do the same thing that you did here, but you can connect like more properties. So you can do a lot of different things with this, but at least hopefully this helps you. And that's how you connect a drop down with a repeater, and has buttons that take you outside the website and also within your same website. So keep that in mind. If you want to find the URLs from the pages in your website, all you have to do is go to pages, and let's say you want to find the URL from this page right here, or let's add a new one so that way you can see what it looks like. So we're gonna add here, and we're gonna name it line page. Okay. So whenever you want to find a URL, you're just gonna click these three little dots, go where it says SEO basics, and then it's right here. So just click go to URL, and the reason it's giving you an error is because it's not published. So you make sure it's published, and now gonna go to URL, and it's 1 second. Let's click here, publish one more time, and then we're gonna go preview. Because sometimes the system is a little bit slow, so just make sure you do that. Check here. Now we're gonna go to the URL, and it should work perfect. So we can copy this URL, go back to your database on properties, and let's say we want to connect the apartment section, which is this one right here. Let's say we want to connect apartments to one page within your website. So we'll delete this, and then we'll paste the new URL. And just make sure if you change your domain, this also has to change, because the way it is right now is using databases, so it's not using pages. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna click close, and now we're gonna preview, and let's go back actually home. Where we go? We're gonna go back to the home page, and I'm gonna go preview. And then we're gonna go back here where our listings are, and then we added within apartments. So once we click here, it should take us within our own page. There you go. Say so you're on your same website, it didn't take you outside. So that's how you can do it all within your same website, or you can take them outside the website. So okay, let's recap. I know this video is being a little long, but again, it's a little bit just to understand how do you want to connect everything. So the number one thing is create your design, okay, before connecting any database, doing any of the little coding that you're gonna have access to. Just make sure you like the design that you have, okay. Make sure that you have everything within a repeater. And once you do that, then the second thing is to create the database, which you already saw how to do it. Once you create the database, then you're gonna add the code right here. You gotta make sure that your database, your data set, sorry, once you add it, the name here matches the same one that you have here. Because if you have any other content or other data set within your page, this might be a different name. It might be dataset 2 or dataset 3. So make sure that when you select the one that you want to connect to your properties or to your listings, it matches this one right here, or you can replace it right here. Second thing, the drop down menu, once you click on it, is going to have also an ID, and that ID should be replaced for this one right here, drop down one and drop down one. So make sure that's correct. And then lastly, it's gonna be the this section right here, which is gonna be the key field. And in order for you to find this, because you're gonna be filtering by type of properties, so we need to do type of properties. So we're gonna go here. You're gonna go where your data set is, where your database is, and you're gonna find what you want to filter, right? So in this case, it's gonna be type of properties. So you're gonna click there, properties, and then the field key is this one. As you can see, you just gotta copy and exactly how it is written, lowercase, capital, and capital. Because if one of these letters is not correct, it's not gonna filter right. So just check that. You can also filter by title. You can filter by price. And this is where it gets a little bit more, you can make it as advanced or as complicated as you want, but you can literally filter anything that you put here. That's what it's going to filter. Whatever key field that you put here, that's what it's going to do. So now that this is correct, then the last thing you want to make sure is that whenever you select the choices that you have on the drop down menu, the value, right, must match exactly what's on your database. So house, if it's capital H, it has to be the same here as is how you add it on your database. Same thing for condos, apartments, land. So whatever you add here, it has to match exactly how it's going to be here on type of properties. So if you saw earlier, we were having issues not filtering correctly. It's because one, this was lowercase, and on the drop down menu was capital. Condos was missing an S. So this, what you write here, has to match exactly lowercase, also like every single letter, capital, if you're doing capital, it has to match exactly what you have on your choices here for type of property. If you don't do it that way, it's not going to filter correctly. And then a lot of the times when you're on preview, it might not show correctly. So make sure you publish. And if you're not sure because you don't want to mess up your website, create another page, test it out there, and once you're ready, then you can replicate it on the place that you want to add it. But as you can see here, now it should work correctly. So we're filtering on apartments, we'll filter on land, and then we can go back to house. And again, I only have it to display 3 properties, but it can do more than that. When they click on details, it can take them exactly to where they want them to go, apartments. So as you can see, takes them outside. So hopefully again this video helped you, and if I made it a little complicated this time, I'm sorry. But I literally just decided to do it right away, so I didn't went back and try to have less errors. But you can see everything is possible. It's not that difficult. It's just to understand those things. Now again, the code for the page, you're gonna have access to it. It's gonna be on the description. I'm gonna add a link, and again, all you have to do is just copy paste, and it's gonna be very easy for you to recreate it. Now, if you have questions, just let me know, and I'll make sure I'll respond as soon as possible. And then again, this is the code. It's not that difficult. It's literally this little section right here. And the only things that you might have to match with your website is going to be the drop down. If you were using drop down, if you were using tags, then you just got to find the name or the ID for that specific item. And then the key field for what you want to filter, and then the data set. And that's it. Everything else stays the same. You don't have to change anything. All right. Well, hopefully, again, I didn't make it so complicated, and have a wonderful day. Please let me know if you need anything. And thank you again for the support and for following my channel. Take care.